It says we're live.
Yeah, lies.
Yeah, they finally changed colors.
Still lies. Um, it's a bad day today. If you would like to keep us warm, as you can see, everybody's in a sweatshirt. If you'd like to keep us warm, donate here.
Yeah, baby, it's cold out there.
No kidding.
And
it's
wet.
It's wet and it sucks, and my hips are killing me. If you like coffee, King Harvest Imperial Coffee sponsors us. If you would like them to keep sponsoring us, order from them and let them know you heard about it here.
Highly recommend their geisha blend, along with the blanket fort blend, along with the rack press blend.
And the various African blends that they were kind enough to send this time. Oh my God. Arbuckle Ariosa is still my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. If you like Smart Aleck t-shirts, and it being the Christmas season, you probably need one. tinyurl.com Among the Leaves tees. Friend of ours. Let him know you heard about it here when you order one.
As long as you're mentioning Imperial Coffee's blends, don't forget the rack press blend.
Oh, yeah.
I said that.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said blanket fort blend.
He did.
And rack press blend.
Okay. Well, excuse me. I was just making sure that all of them got credit.
And that's Sanford you hear off camera there.
Yep.
Offering beatings and solicitations. Well, yes, AJ, there are people who like that sort of stuff, as you well know.
$75 extra in Vegas.
Yeah.
Or so I hear.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Yes, Ian has something he can play with and not break. And we'll see how many times he pinches his fingers.
Got it. Found it.
And for all you guys, you can now start your Christmas shopping.
Mary's water has officially broken. It is now time to start Christmas shopping.
Yes. You've got 7 hours to get everything that you haven't bothered to get yet.
I drive into Wichita to go to the gym. Happy as a clam at high tide. Wichita Falls traffic said, "Welcome to Thunderdome, bitches!" It's like, ah!
8 hours if you're on the West Coast.
Yeah. Speaking of Thunderdome, Seal Beach PD arrested 3 20-somethings for shoplifting.
Okay.
What makes it even more interesting is when they got him in the car and told him it was a felony for shoplifting now, as of a couple of days ago. And one of them apparently said, "Son of a bitch."
Yep.
I thought that didn't go into effect till next year.
Surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
All right, well, what the
Yeah, somebody saved that quote. Mary's water is broken. It's time to go Christmas shopping. Yes.
Do I lie?
That's one thing that's never talked about anywhere. How long it took for Jesus to be born. Merry Christmas, crook. Yeah, exactly. It is Christmas Eve.
It is.
Seriously hope everybody has got their shopping done. If not, it's interesting out there, folks.
Thunderdome.
Take your life into your own hands.
No kidding.
There are those of us who have no plans of going shopping or any place where there's a store until the after New Year's.
Yeah. In our case is Merry Christmas. I'm not leaving the property.
Colorado depends on value. Apparently in California, they've reinstituted 3 strikes, you're out.
Yeah.
And they were asking these young ladies, "Have you been arrested for?" "Oh yeah, many times." "Okay, it's a felony."
Yeah.
What? It's like not a big fan of the 3 strikes law.
Yeah.
Not a big fan. But quite honestly, when you go for how many years with letting the animals run free,
yeah,
sometimes you got to stub them off pretty hard.
Yeah.
So you could no longer just in California just blatantly walk in and rob the place in front of the cops?
Nope.
And the sheriff in that county is quite tickled by the fact that he's been let loose.
Yep.
Nope, not what I want.
Now, is that the whole? I mean, is it like it's still in LA? Can you still go in and just?
The whole state's back to 3 strikes, you're out.
Yeah.
3 strikes is a felony.
Yep.
There it is.
Merry Christmas to all. Yeah, well, that's tomorrow. December the 26th. I'm grateful Jerkface's return day. Yes. And speaking of which.
Oh, is Kelly Grayson on here?
Not yet.
Oh.
If you haven't bought batteries
One of the reasons I was looking for this was I was about to disassemble the thermostat because I could not figure. Thermostat is blinking a change the batteries symbol, and I was trying to find the battery compartment, and I couldn't get the damn thing off the wall. So I grabbed I grabbed one of the multi tools. I have several, and apparently the thermostat went, "Oh shit," and gave up the ghost. And it takes AA batteries, and I had an attack pack of AA batteries here somewhere. I can't find them.
He has been running around for the last 30 minutes, opening drawers, looking at boxes, cussing.
Yep.
Running back around, etc.
I have no idea. I had an attack pack. They're all gone.
The thing about it is, with the way this place is laid out, they could be sitting on a shelf in plain sight, but you
Right.
couldn't see them.
Right. No kidding.
Oh, do it, Dawn. Do it.
What is Don doing?
I've
Wait,
not
wait.
yet gone in the back and wished the two emotional toddlers a Merry Jailmas.
Merry Christmas. Yes. Oh, woo.
Yeah, the January the 26th returns are always an interesting time.
If I wasn't working straight through, God bless the Raising Farm for holiday pay, I would not be getting out of the house until about the first week of January.
Yeah.
Because it is madness out there.
The ultimate drawer of holding.
No
yes.
kidding.
The problem is everybody has their drawer of holding, but it's always in different places.
And you don't know where it is.
Yeah.
And if you've got a wife like mine, you have several, and you don't know
No
where any of them are.
Yeah.
No kidding. What the hell was that thing I was going to disassemble?
Oh, nice, Liz. New carving knives are always nice.
Well, that's an ER trip in the making.
Oh, differs. That's going to suck. Emergency hotel rooms in New England for 5 people. Yeah, that's,
Why?
I don't know.
What the hell is she doing in New England?
That's where their family is, remember?
Vaguely.
I have the garage of holding. Yeah, redheads go white, not
Nancy, you and Wayne need to get together.
black. Now what are you doing?
No, never mind. Just do your thing.
He's trying to see if there are AA batteries in that.
I know there aren't.
No, there aren't. And I'm wondering what he's going to try to tear apart for something he can't tear apart.
I know. Why the hell? How the hell does this thing go together?
Well, it was a nice mic.
Is it working? Are we using it?
It worked. We haven't figured out why it quit working.
Then
Like
that's.
it did.
I'm about to figure. If I can get it apart, I'm about to figure out why it doesn't work. The hell? How does this thing go together? There's no screws. No, I got it.
Anyway, if you're out and about, please be careful out there. If he ain't broke, he can break it. Yes,
Did they weld it or something?
YouTube will have a tutorial somewhere, probably.
I don't need a tutorial. I've actually been trained on disassembling stuff.
Yeah,
Yes, he was
reassembling, not so much.
he was in the cavalry where they could take 3 bowling balls in a room with 3 cavalry troopers, and the next locked room. And the next morning, one of the bowling balls would be missing, one would be broken, the other would be pregnant.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. If it doesn't work, take it apart and fiddle. If it breaks, it's already broken. Yeah, that's true, Joel. I'm not sure how many coffees he's had, Liz.
How many calls I had? Several.
Yeah, Don, it's not intended to be user serviceable, so
The hell is user serviceable?
C4 isn't the answer to everything. Depends on
What
your point of
heresy
view.
is this? C4 is always the answer.
Actually, Sir Brass, most of the turkeys we've gotten down here are already pre-brined, so you don't need to brine them a second time. It's a
pain in the ass, Mark 1.
it is a blue
It's a Yeti.
Yeti
Yeti
blue.
blue.
It was
That
donated
stopped
to
working.
us
It stopped working, right?
and worked great for over a year and then quit working.
And the fact it quit working makes me cross.
Yeah.
And I can't get into it, which really pisses me off. It's got to, this part's got to screw in. This part's got to, I can hear it moving.
No, we hadn't tried the new cable seeder.
Yeah, we
And
did.
After Ian gets through screwing with it, I doubt that we will.
All right. I get the fucking point. Get the point.
It was the day before Christmas, and all over the table, I'll wrap the gifts when I'm able. Yes. Well, I cheated this year since my back is, yeah.
Goober pated.
Yeah.
This is the entire stream, isn't it?
Yeah. Pretty
How
much.
long have you been watching? This is news.
I decided to cheat and go with Amazon cards since they're come pre-wrapped. I don't have to fool with it. Yeah, that's close enough for government work, Wally.
Goober pated.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What the hell? Aha! Aha! I knew it. What? You gotta start at.
See what I got to put up with?
I had to school somebody yesterday. Oh, hell, no. I had to school somebody yesterday the difference between a rancher and owning a ranch.
The black one goes on the inside.
Yes, I know.
Then why did you put it on the outside?
Because I was having a fit. I had to school somebody on the difference between a rancher and owning a ranch. And there is a big difference.
Yeah.
Just because you've got a ranch does not mean you're a rancher, Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah.
That boy pisses me off. And I never even watched his show. Rita wants to watch his show. I don't know why.
Who's Taylor Sheridan?
Apparently, he's got some big show on TV that's allegedly about a ranch.
Yellowstone,
That's the one.
1923, 1880 something.
And the thing is I've seen clips of it on the tubes. And seriously, I'm getting there.
Now you got to put the little one on.
I'm getting there.
It's got to go on first.
I'm getting there. So allegedly, he's got a show about being about ranches, and apparently he bought into the 4/6s.
Yeah,
he represented a group of
investors.
Thank you, Sanford, who bought the 4/6s.
Yeah,
and so, well, he's a rancher. No, he's not. He's a man who owns a ranch.
Yeah, there is a significant difference because
there is.
He's not getting up.
It never has.
Yeah, at dark 30 to get out and work the cattle.
He's not getting up at 1 o'clock in the morning because the cattle are out.
Yeah.
He's never been up at 2 a.m, armpit deep in a cow trying to turn a calf.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Well, but there's a long tradition of this. The British lords of the 1800s that would own big swaths of everywhere,
yeah,
and never come to the United States.
But they never call themselves ranchers. They said they owned ranches, and they were right. They owned a ranch.
Yeah.
Good on you. You're not a rancher.
Yeah. Anybody that's ever actually worked on a ranch knows they're elbow deep in a goat. Yeah.
Elbow deep in a goat. No kidding.
Or a horse. Yeah. No, on the horses, trust me. Leave that for the vet.
Yes.
Of course, horses tend to be much more, shall we say, argumentative than cattle are.
Depends on the breed.
Yeah,
I both know that. Depends on the breed. Why am I on? Why are we on? Oh, because I needed something to talk about.
Yeah.
Distract y'all from what I was doing. So somebody decided to tell me this guy was a rancher. And I understand he's from Texas. That makes him a rancher. I understand that he owns, or at least part of the 4/6s. Doesn't make him a rancher.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if you refer to the 4/6s ranch as the 6666, you're wrong.
Yeah,
Stop
it's
it.
4/6s.
Go beat your face for being wrong.
It's always been 4/6s.
Yep. It's always. Go beat your face for being wrong.
there are a number of historic ranches in Texas. Obviously.
Oh God, yes. And oh, did you hear XIT's coming back?
Yeah.
I did. Well done, guys.
Yeah.
XIT's coming back. XIT's at one time was one of the big ones.
Yeah.
At a time when so many of them are being broken up and sold off and acquired by multinational corporations.
Yeah.
It's good to hear the XIT's coming back.
If you ever get a chance to go to the Panhandle Plains Museum up in Amarillo or Canyon, Texas, just south of Amarillo, the main doors, have the original cattle brands on
Yes,
it.
they do.
Now, I have a question for you.
What's that?
How come the 4.6s, or it's the 4.6s, not the 6.666, and the XIT is the XIT, not the exit?
That's
Well, because in those days there was no such thing as an exit. XIT was the brand.
10 in Texas.
Yeah.
Yep. XIT.
If you look at the old brands, most of them were some form of a letter and some kind of symbol to make it harder for the rustlers to modify the brand.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the true way to find out whether the brand has been modified,
if somebody's running it says a hot centering.
Yeah, centering is the easiest way to do it. You can do a lot with centering. But if they thought the brand had been modified, they would kill the animal and peel the hide.
And you could tell from
it's very easy to tell on the backside whether or not the brand had been modified.
What's your short of beef?
Like Rafter J.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a rafter over the letter J.
The way you read brands is left to right, top down, or outside in.
Yeah. Now, Winkle Red XIT was never the biggest.
It was one of the biggest.
It was one of the biggest. Goodnight's was the biggest.
I think King Ranch was.
Yeah, but King Ranch was founded after Goodnight.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
King Ranch is currently the largest. And if I remember right, Wagner is the second largest.
Wagner is second largest. It's the largest in contiguous.
Yeah.
Most ranches, a lot of ranches, I won't say most because I don't know. A lot of ranches, the actual land is they're separate from each other.
Yeah, 4.6s, for example, has a North Ranch and a South Ranch. South Ranch is 142,000 acres. North Ranch is 126, I think, 126,000, something like that. Yeah, that's correct. XIT had land in 10 counties, but didn't own the entire counties.
Like most of them, a lot of the land was not contiguous. Wasn't joined to the rest of it. Wagner was the biggest contiguous.
Yeah.
Under one fence.
Yeah.
I don't know about now. It got bought up by a bunch of coastal agents. Bought up by
Koenig, Kroll, something.
Kinky.
I don't know.
Krunke. He's the husband.
Krunke. Yeah, that's it.
He's the husband of one of the Walmart heiresses.
Yeah. They don't live there.
Of course not. They live out on the coast.
Yeah. He's not a rancher.
Because there are a number of people he threw off.
Yeah.
Wagner had a bunch of they leased out the shores of one of the lakes that Wichita Falls built on Wagner property. And they leased out the shoreline.
In perpetuity.
Yeah, for people to build cabins and little places to live or fish. Krunke bought it, turfed them all off.
Yeah.
And didn't pay. It's like, nope, your lease is canceled. Didn't reimburse them for what they did. And I don't know because he turned it all private, but from what we were told, he bulldozed.
Yeah, bulldozed
every bit of improvement around on the shores, and turned it into his personal fishing ground.
Yeah.
I don't know if he even fishes.
Yeah. But Yeah, I'm not even going there. Never mind.
Robert Cruz, just clarify: a farm raises plants, ranch raises critters. That gets complicated.
Yeah.
Um,
There were vegetable ranches.
well, a ranch. There is no official separation. A lot of farms have cattle, have goats, have chickens.
Yeah.
The unofficial is you get above a certain number of acres and it turns into a ranch.
Well, Don's is also correct. Major enterprise is plant based, it's a farm. Major enterprise is animal based, it's a ranch. Because most quote unquote farms also have some cattle or goats or something.
Well, I was raised on a beef farm.
Yeah.
The major thing was beef.
Yeah.
But it was a farm, and I'll say one of the big differences between a farm and a ranch is location.
Yeah.
When I say that, you don't have ranches in Ohio.
True.
Doesn't matter how many acres, doesn't matter what you're raising.
Yeah.
It's not a ranch in Ohio. On the other hand, if I had a cattle operation of 1,000 acres in Texas, that would probably be a ranch.
And I'm here to tell you, having done it,
Yeah.
if you, especially in Texas, if you're in West Texas and you've got a ranch, a whole bunch of that will be plowed and planted to crops.
Yeah.
Because you need to feed
The cattle over the winter.
The cattle. Yeah.
You have to feed the cattle.
Yeah. That was one of the things that my uncle ran into with his ranch out in West Texas. Was it took 8 acres to feed one cow for 30 days.
That is some crappy land.
Oh, it was. So that was the thing. That's why he never had more than 200 longhorns, because he just didn't have enough land, and he owned 10,000 and had BLM lease on another 15,000.
Another difference is where you're located. And
Yeah.
again, going back to Ohio, we kept our cattle in the barns, and we needed the straw we grew.
Yeah.
For bedding down the barns, because otherwise they're knee deep in shit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, Ted, matter of fact, chimes in and said, was raised on a hobby farm. Dad worked a regular job and we grew our own food, nothing for sale.
Most, to be perfectly honest, especially in Panhandle, most ranches up there are family ranches.
Yeah.
Hell, down here, most of them are family ranches. You've got a husband and a wife and some kids raising 20 to 100 head, and eating 3 of them, having another 3 for FFA, and then sending off half of the rest, and making enough to basically cover the farm expenses.
Yeah, that's kind of the break even. Is you want enough to cover the expenses.
You've got to cover expenses,
which is the difference between farming and ranching.
I've never farmed, so I couldn't tell you.
I can tell you, most farmers do not cover the expenses.
No, very seldom. They may have one good year in every 5.
Yeah.
Every rancher I know, except for the big ones, the ranch manager for the 4.6s, that's his job.
Yeah.
Okay.
The ranch manager for the JA, the owners of the JA, that's their job. Everybody else, the ranch is what you do when you get home from your other job. The number of cops I knew in the Panhandle that when they got done with their shift, well, I did it. That other shift, they went home and worked with their cattle.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to be specific on the what I said about farming not making any money. Family farms don't make any money.
No.
Yeah.
Well, they can. It's not.
As a rule of thumb, a family farm isn't going to make any money.
Yeah.
Now, commercial operations where they got 10,000 acres under wheat.
Yeah.
They make money.
If they have a good year.
If they have a good year, and they're so big that the banks will carry them if they have a bad year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but they're big enough to afford some really good crop insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you got a little family farm and you've got 100 acres of corn, if you have a bad year, or if corn prices are down for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Well, those wildfires, the wildfires that went through the Panhandle a little while ago, I'll guarantee you most of those ranchers had TSCRA cattle insurance.
Yeah.
And might have broken even when the insurance paid off.
Have a good one, Sir Brass, and Merry Christmas to you and yours.
Okay. Easier than being a full-blown rancher, no kidding.
Yeah. The 2 of my high school classmates that grew up on ranches and farms over East Texas. And both of them ended up taking over their respective farm and ranch. And by and large, had pretty good years because the farm was down in the Red River bottoms.
Blackland.
So it was what they call blackland, yeah. For those that aren't familiar with that term, when you have a river, it is always depositing silt downstream. And that silt can come from literally hundreds of miles away. And it's usually very, very good
It's
soil
rich.
because it is so rich.
It's full of dead fish.
Yeah. And other things.
And, rotting or rotted vegetation,
Yeah.
dead fish. It's blackland.
Horses, people, cows.
Yeah.
That's one thing. One of the things, Wichita Falls has Lake Wichita.
Yeah.
Which has been it was at one time a source of water for the city. It's not anymore. But during the last big drought, it pretty much dried all the way up. And they've been talking for years. It's silted in and gotten shallow. And they talked for years, let's bring in dredges and dredge out Lake Wichita. I went to the city council meeting after the Wichita Falls City Council meeting, even though I don't live there. I was just offering advice because I'm nosy that way.
Yeah.
I said, it's dried up. I know for a fact that Wichita Falls has bulldozers and front end loaders and stuff like that. Go dig it out now. You can sell the dirt.
Yeah.
Farmers will buy the dirt hand over fist.
Oh, yeah.
Dig it out now. It's dry. Dig it out. Oh, no, we can't do that. Well, we had the year of the big rain.
Yeah.
It's full of water again. Most of it, because it's shallow, has run off.
Yeah.
So we need to spend several $1 million to dredge it out. Morons. When it was dry, you could have walked in there with bulldozers.
Yeah. Differs. I hope y'all find something out quickly.
Yeah.
Apparently the mother's awake, but dad doesn't have a cell phone, so they can't get in touch with anybody. Oh, $150. Jesus.
What?
That's not going to be fun. They're trying to go to New England for their mother.
Oh, gotcha.
Hey, Mr. Pierce, how goes it?
Hey, Ken. But so anyway, for those of you who don't know, I spent my first law enforcement was at Clarendon, Darling County. And Clarendon College has, at the time, a fantastic program called RFO, Ranch and Feedlot Operations. Well, I had the GI Bill. I took some ranch and feedlot operation courses. I thought back in the 90s, what I wanted to do was get a section of land and raise some cows. And one of the reasons, it wasn't just the drinking money I was working for the ranches. I was doing day work on the ranches was to learn. And I'm so glad I didn't do that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would have loved to have some quarter horses and cows.
Yeah.
But I'm busted up enough as it is.
Yeah, Robert. Classmate, his family had a dairy farm when he graduated and joined the Marines. He loved boot camp. Work was easier and he got to sleep until 5 a.m. Yep.
I grew up on a farm.
Cattle have to be milked.
I grew up on a farm. Now it was a beef farm.
Yeah.
Didn't have to milk, had to feed.
Yeah.
There is a reason why my jobs have all been technical.
Yeah.
But the life of a farmer is one that I will continue striving to avoid.
Yeah.
My dad's dream is he was going to retire and open a ranch.
Yeah.
That was his dream. He always, we hauled a collection of Louis L'Amour books all over Africa.
Yeah.
That were dad's. And that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to, when he retired from Bayreuth, he was going to invest in a ranch and be a gentleman rancher. He didn't live past return. Kind of glad he didn't.
Yeah. Yep. The animals eat before you do. That is the way.
Wayne knows.
Yeah.
The only way I would like to be a rancher is to not be a rancher, but to be a ranch owner.
Yeah.
Ranch owner.
I'd like to have a nice house on a ranch. And there's a guy over there that manages this place, and hires the hands and fires the hands and takes care of the cattle. And all I do is look out in the field and go, I got some pretty cattle out there.
Yeah.
Yep. For those of you who don't know, Wayne Wayne and I grew up. Whenever we came back from Africa, whenever they made Dad take leave, I usually hung around with Wayne, and we tossed hay bales together.
Oh
And
God.
if you've never tossed hay bales, you
Oh,
don't know. You
oh,
do
oh,
not
oh.
know the joys you have missed out on.
That just makes my shoulders hurt thinking about it.
I will say that throwing hay bales is the best thing for teenage boys because one, it puts some money in your pocket,
Yeah.
and two, when you're done throwing hay bales, you're too exhausted to do anything with the money. You can't chase girls. You can't drink.
It's also a hell of a workout.
Oh, no kidding.
God.
That is.
Kenton says, life is shoveling crap and getting stepped on.
Yep.
We kept a dozen beef cattle and goats to milk when I was a kid. And chickens, which are made of shit and hate. Yes. They talk about free range chicken, organic chickens in a friggin'
My ass.
market.
My ass.
There's a writer recently deceased named Jerry Boyd.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The one alien race they couldn't get along with at all
Or the chickens.
were the chickens.
Yeah.
And he's got several explanations that he says for why. No, I know exactly why he didn't get along with them. Because chickens are the most nasty, miserable, horrible critters that were ever on a farm.
Wayne says if somebody wants you to toss alfalfa, run. He is not kidding.
Yeah.
Whoo! Alfalfa is cut green, so it's
Yeah.
still got all the water weight.
Well, alfalfa's not bad if you're using twine. If they're using wire, you need a forklift.
I didn't realize that you bundled square bales, anything but wire.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's twine. And there's wire.
We don't use wire.
The wire bales are packed much tighter. They weigh about twice what a twine does.
Jesus.
I have thrown both. And I can throw a twine bale up on top of a 9-high stack, 5 wide, and no problem. Wire bales, you carry that sucker because you can't throw it.
Yeah.
I will remember. I remember my dying day. The first time I saw a round bale.
Yeah.
When Wayne and I were working, were lunch money, beer money. We were 16, 17, so it was beer money. Oh wait, am I supposed to say that? My bad. We never saw round bales, all square bales. It was all square bales.
Yeah.
And the first time I saw a round bale, my first thing was, who the fuck is going to throw that up?
They're not.
No.
Well, yeah, we never had round bales. We had the ones that we threw were square bales and they were twine.
Jim?
Yeah.
They didn't have round bales until after you were long gone from farming.
That's true too. Yeah.
They didn't exist.
Yeah.
And round bales I love round bales. I really do. I wish like hell the farmers around here had done round bales so I didn't have to throw bastards.
Well, and the other thing is they've got those huge loaf bales now.
They do?
Yeah, that are almost they're as big as a round bale except they're loaf shaped.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any.
Yeah.
The watching ranchers back the hay spike on a pickup up to a round bale and driving off.
Yeah.
My shoulders go, what the hell?
Yeah.
See, now I never minded throwing bales.
I did. I hurt for weeks.
Yeah.
Well, okay. You were an African kid. You just threw during the summer when you got. I would toss bales all year round. When you're feeding hay, when you're bedding straw, you're tossing bales. Now, admittedly, straw bales were no problem because they were, half the weight of a hay bale.
Yeah.
Maybe. Just you throw them across the barn.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it all year round, it's not that bad.
I remember we had a missing kid one time, farm kid, and it was a new couple. They'd moved in. They'd been farming for about a year, and they were growing straw for one of the or hay for one of the local ranches, JA, I think.
Yeah.
And one of their sprogs went missing. I said, "We checked the hay barn." Yeah, we checked the hay barn. No, you didn't check the hay barn.
Yeah.
And what? So, drove out there in the scooter, in the cruiser, pulled up, jumped into, climbed up on the hay, started looking. Sure enough, the kids had pulled a couple and made a little warren.
Yeah.
a little rat warren, and the kid was in there snoozing.
Yeah.
How did you know? Oh, you. I don't think. Hey, Jay's another one that threw
Yeah.
hay bales with us.
And hay is scratchy.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know,
You don't mind when you're a kid, but
the things, you know,
roll into no.
yeah.
No.
You hear about, oh, he took the girl out to the hay barn and they did the thing.
Well, you did that in a straw.
Yeah, you did that in the straw, not in the hay barn.
But, city people don't know the difference.
And the other thing is, if you were going to do that, you had to get up into the hayloft because there wasn't any hay down on the main floor of the barn.
Never.
Well, these folks had a hay barn.
Yeah.
And I said, have you checked the hay barn? We've looked. No, you haven't.
Yeah.
Every farm kid I know of has made mazes.
Yeah.
Get up on top and then start pulling till you make little tunnels in the hay. Every farm kid I know of. I up there start
But you
looking.
don't do that until after it starts getting cool weather, because before then the hay barn is so packed that you can't move them enough to get the tunnel in.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Once it starts getting cool weather and you start using it, yes, you start making tunnels.
Yeah.
And forts.
A gallon jug of ice and drank it as it melted. Yeah.
And Wayne and Jay are not wrong. First thing you do is throw the hay bale from the field onto a trailer.
Yeah.
And then you ride on it, hanging on for dear life till you get to the barn. And it's thrown from the trailer into the barn.
Yep.
And then half the time it's thrown from the barn floor up to the hayloft.
Or if you were really good, you threw it directly into the hayloft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you threw it directly into that. None of this moving it twice. You've already moved it twice.
Yeah.
You're not moving it 3 times. And you can throw a bale pretty good when you get used to it.
Yeah.
We had, and quite honestly, the ranchers or farmers don't mind the kids making the tunnels.
Yeah.
Because it airs out the hay. If you get mold or fungus, you get a fungus infestation in the hay, and it goes to mildew and starts warming up. You can start a fire in the middle of your hayloft, in the middle of your pile of hay. You can start a fire.
It'll self start too.
Yeah, it'll start, and then it's under all that hay, so you don't know about it till it's going really, really good.
Yeah.
And then you have to pull down all the rest of the hay to get to the fire. So
and that's if your barn hasn't already gone up.
Yeah.
So the kids pulling the hay bales to make tunnels helps air out, dry out. You'll get mildew or mold or whatever or fungus.
Yeah, Ted, that's true. As a teenager, you can have a tremendous amount of fun once you can convince the teenage girl to join you, and you take a blanket.
Yep.
Wet years were a problem. Yes. Wet years are always a problem.
And so they didn't mind. A lot of them didn't mind because they dry out whatever was, and the fungus wouldn't grow without moisture.
Yeah, you always and Don brings up an excellent point. You always check the moisture before you baled it.
Yeah.
That was a critical part of the evolution.
Well,
what was critical was getting between the day it dries, and the day it rains.
Yeah. Oh God, yes.
Well, and quite frankly,
that applies to any kind of farming, anything that you take out of the field. That's why you see the combines running in the middle of the night.
Because it's got to get up before the rain.
Got to get out, and there's rain coming.
It's got to get out before the dew hits.
Yeah, haystack fires are occasionally interesting, especially when they're in a truck in the middle of town.
No kidding. No kidding.
I can remember as a kid, we got the hay down, and it was not supposed to rain.
Yeah.
We got the hay down, got it raked. We're supposed to start baling the next morning, and come through and rain that evening.
Yeah.
So for the next 3 days, my brother and I are out there with pitchforks in the rows of hay,
flipping it,
scattering it.
Yep.
Spreading it out as much as we can so we could re-rake it.
Yep.
Not that I had anything that was hard about farming that I'd ever done.
Yeah. Well, that was the fun part with Joel's place, because we would go over there during the summers as kids. We're 12, 13, 14 years old, and get paid to buck the hay. Then I went to my uncle's ranch. Well, he didn't have any hay. He had to buy hay. So the hay would come in on tractor trailers, and then we'd have to load that in the hay barn.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I first heard the term hucking.
Yeah.
I was British. My vocabulary was British at the time. And hucking hay. I had no idea what the hell hucking was. And hucking is the act of throwing.
Yeah.
And I love that word. Hucking is such a great.
Well, that's what you're saying. He's going.
Yeah, right.
Trying to get that son of a bitch to move when it's the 50th one you've tried to throw.
Like I said, if you've got teenage boys,
yeah,
find a farmer with some hay, because they can make spending money, and they're too tired to get up to stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that used to be true, but now they all use the round bit. You find very few people doing square bales anymore.
Yeah.
They're almost especially. My wife uses square bales of straw for gardening.
Yeah.
Yep.
And finding them at anything like the cost.
It's a pain in the butt. I remember.
Kenton, most people that I knew that and even today that are in farming and ranching go by Farmer's Almanac. They don't trust the TV weatherman. Hucking. Dagamore says, according to his book, hucking is what you do with 50-odd grenades. Yeah, that too.
And Nancy's right. There's between chunking and throwing.
Yeah.
No, I never heard bucking. I heard hucking.
Yeah.
And I thought that may be a Texas thing. That's a charming little word. I really love it.
I knew bucking in Ohio, so it's the more common word, but I've heard both.
Cedar, I feel your pain. We were buying, Rita needed straw. And so I went over to Sullivan's and bought a square bale and got back to Owl Park, unloaded it, started breaking into it, wrapped it back up, went back to Sullivan's and said, this is moldy. It's like, what the hell, guys?
Yeah.
And what the hell? I remember when you get coast grass for $3 a bale.
Yeah. That was
What
high.
the hell? Yeah, coast grass was high end. It was $3 a bale. I think I paid 10. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. And it was moldy. I was pissed.
Yeah.
I walked in and was wearing my Stetson, and I said, this is moldy. And they didn't bother asking. I said, we'll get you another one, sir. $9.99. Yeah. $10 a bale. I did. I walked in wearing my Stetson and said, this is moldy. And they didn't. Oh, we're sorry, sir. We'll get you another one. Thank you.
Yeah.
Of course, if you
fun times.
walk in wearing your Stetson, they were probably wondering why the hell you bought a square bale. I mean, a truckload of square bales, maybe.
Drive safe, Ted. Have a good day.
I walked into Atwood's at the height of the recent COVID stupidity.
Yeah.
Wearing jeans and a button-down shirt, my Stetson, and said, "Where's the ivermectin?" And they went, "Oh, worms." It's right. It's back there.
Yeah.
How many you need? It's like, oh, I have broken the code.
Yeah.
I love Atwood's. I refer to Atwood's as hillbilly, redneck Walmart.
Yeah.
And we love Atwood's. We really do. Those old boys in there, I think they hire ranch kids or farm kids.
They carry caps for cap pistols.
Yes, they do.
And they also have cap pistols.
They have old fashioned kids toys.
Yeah.
We've got a Tractor Supply here too, and it's every bit as good.
Yeah.
Or Big R. There's Tractor Supply, Atwoods, and Big R.
Yeah.
And if there's one of those, I'll go there before I go to Walmart. It's a little more expensive.
Yeah.
It's a little more expensive, but you can get stuff there that you can't get at Walmart.
Oh, like the garlic dill pickles. Yes. They got some interesting food choices there too.
Oh yeah. They always do.
No, Atwood's had a stack of apple flavored ivermectin.
Yeah.
And we needed it for the dogs because you couldn't get heartworm medicine.
Yeah.
We needed it for the dogs. I need a thing of ivermectin. And I guess I look like this. It's right back there, sir. And they've been telling everybody else, no, we don't. Yeah, they're back there.
Yeah.
Jim can do the same thing. He walks in with a hat and they just assume he's a rancher.
Yeah.
Ian does not love pickled eggs. What? Base canards. I do. Pickled eggs are disgusting. They are nasty. They're
If you want to send Ian pickled eggs, I'll make sure they get eaten.
yeah. He'll eat
Oh.
them.
Kent, that's Rural King is not one I've ever heard of. That's interesting.
It's an Eastern one.
Huh.
Oh
Never
my
saw
God.
one of those.
Doug Irvin's got a Gibson's. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. That is an oldie but a goodie. Yeah. Cedar says, got a nice batch of pickled eggs in the fridge.
Well, you can keep them. You can keep them. You can get stuff at Atwood's and Tractor Supply. I mean, you get actual cap guns for kids, the good ones, and good cap guns. And the toy section at Atwood's is mind blowing. And they've got decent. That's where I find most of my Carhartts.
Yeah. Now, Don said, Chewy has a 7-way wormer that doesn't have ivermectin and they like the taste.
We've got dachshunds, and apparently ivermectin doesn't affect them at all. So,
yeah, they actually have the old paper caps, the old rolls of paper caps.
I love walking at Atwood's, getting lever action cap rifles for the Sprogs, a Carhartt jacket, a can of Tannerite, and a bucket of 9mm.
Yeah.
At one store. It's great.
Pickled eggs in a gallon jar at the bar. Yeah, that brings back some memories, Richard. And it was always either the barmaid or the bartender or the mess sergeant that did the pickled eggs.
Sometimes the bartender's wife.
Yeah. So it was never legal, but they were always for sale on the bar for 50 cents a piece.
And there was always a pack of saltines there.
Pack of saltines. And the other thing was the dill pickles.
In the big gallon jar.
Yeah, the big gallon jar of dill pickles.
Jim Totten sent me an AR-10 for some reason. And I was taking it out about the same time. Somebody gifted me with a gallon jar of pickled eggs and a 168 grain boat tail at 100 yards will blow pickled eggs all over the landscape, and the local trash pandas will love you for it.
Oh, you were supposed to be in his wedding.
Yeah.
Pickled turkey gizzards. Okay, I'll pass on that one. Musky bait, yes. We used to get catfish bait out of. There were a couple of hardware stores down in Louisiana. You get catfish bait out of.
Me and Matt Hambright we made homemade stink bait, and woo! We went into the United and we got a pack of Limburger cheese.
I love cheese, but that's going a step too far.
Yeah, no kidding. And then we threw it in a blender with some bait fish that we'd throw netted, little shad, and they'd been in a bucket in the backyard, and the bucket had dried up. So we were holding our breaths when we scooped those, and then and
you threw the blender away.
Well, Matt's wife would not let the blender back in the house. And we put it in a tub and left it in the sun for a couple of days. And when the lid blew off, the lid flew, we decided that it was time to. The catfish love that stuff.
Yeah.
We called it devil vomit because
it would make the devil vomit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so you had to use a stick on the hook and hold your breath while you punched in there. The catfish loved it. Woo!
Well, they'll eat stink bait. We used to use it, make it with bread.
Yeah.
Moldy bread. And that was how you formed the ball that you put on the hook.
And they wonder why I won't eat catfish.
Yeah, Jesse says, by the way, if you catch a woodmouth bass on stink bait, they will take your pole. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, Tiffany.
I think there was some clotted blood in there, but it was a lovely little stink bait.
Yeah.
And it rode in the back of the truck when we went fishing. And like I said, you had to hold your breath and use a stick to punch the treble hook in there. Catfish loved it.
Yeah.
People, it was a little rough.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, Tiffany.
That stuff was nasty. Yes, it was.
Woo! Like I said, this is why I don't eat catfish.
I love catfish.
It's never mind. Not gonna rehash that argument again. There's some things that just aren't worth the battle.
Farm raised catfish.
Yeah. Blue channel cats are good.
Oh yeah, channel cats are predators. Channel cats and blue cats are predators.
Yeah.
They eat live fish.
Yeah.
Flatheads and mud cats they're bottom feeders.
They're bottom feeders.
I quite honestly though, between us, I would prefer farm raised catfish.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got a catfish place up the road that does pretty good.
Bill's Catfish.
Yeah, we need to get back up there.
No kidding. Bill's Catfish is
You got to wait till Jonna gets back.
Institution.
Yeah.
And it's a fish camp, basically. It's
no water anywhere near, but it's a fish camp. It's a fish camp catfish place.
79 North, head towards Waurika. So I've been to Bill's. We're working on it.
Yeah.
And I'm given to understand that they finally put up a sign. For decades, it was a couple of trailer houses beside the road with a gravel parking lot and no signage whatsoever. You had to know where you were going.
Yeah. And it's out in the middle of nowhere.
It's you're going up 79. All of a sudden, there's a couple trailer houses in the middle of nowhere. And
you can get it either way, Winkle Red.
Grill it or just fried. Get the fried catfish. They'll grill it for you. Get the fried catfish. Fried catfish is fantastic. But they have their hush puppies.
Yeah.
Everybody knows how a funnel cake is, right? You got this funnel with a handle on it, and the spout. The handle opens and closes the spout, and then you fill the funnel with funnel cake batter, and then you squeeze a handle, and you get this little rope that fries. They use a funnel cake thing for their hush puppies. And they pinch off about maybe inch and a half hush puppies into the fire or into the grease. Oh my God, their hush puppies are great.
Yeah. It is good food. And the nice thing is they fixed the catfish fish camp style.
Yes, they did.
So it's very thin sliced. It's not the thick patties,
which I don't mind, but thin slice is good.
Yeah.
So next time y'all go up there, I don't want any of the fish, but bring back some hush puppies.
Well, they've got shrimp too, so you would have something to eat.
There are no jalapenos in the hush puppies. It's hush puppy batter, and they do this, and you get maybe inch and a half long cylinders of hush puppy, and they're really good.
Yeah. And I was talking to one of the owners one night when we were up there. And I said, just out of curiosity, I said, how big an area do you get customers from? And he kind of chuckled and he said, well, that I know of 120 miles.
That night, they had a couple in there from Kansas City.
Yeah.
They had driven down from Kansas City just to get the catfish.
And they apparently do that once a month.
Yep. It's really good. It's 45 minutes for us.
Yeah, 45 minutes.
It's really good catfish. And on
Long John Silver's, God,
what
Jay.
the hell? No, Jay, no. Go to Papados.
Yeah, I don't think they have Papados up there.
Nah, I think you're probably right. But if it's like Father's Day or Mother's Day, go early. 4th of July, go early.
we go when we go, we try to be there by 5:30.
Yep.
Because the line is out the door. People are sitting in their trucks a quarter of a mile down each side of the road waiting.
There's a gravel parking lot, and then people will park beside on the shoulder of US 79 for a, half a mile.
Yeah. Wayne says they knocked down Long John Silver's on Kemp, going to build a new one. It was cheaper than cleaning the old one.
That goes for any Long John Silver's.
Well, that goes for any restaurant.
Well,
if you've ever been in the back of a restaurant, you will never walk back in there to eat. I will tell you that right now.
In Texas, the county does the county health district does
right.
the restaurant checks, and occasionally they want an escort when they go check a restaurant. I've been in some. When your jail restaurant is cleaner than some of your commercial restaurants, that's a bad sign. Every once in a while, Rita will get if I'm going to eat at a commercial chain fish place, I'm going to go find a Papados.
Yeah,
Papados
or Landry's.
I've never been to Landry's.
They're basically one and the same. The Landry family owns both of them.
But every once in a while, Rita will get a wild hair and she'll have a craving for Long John Silver's. So we'll go get Long John Silver's. And we'll spend the next 2 days remembering why we don't eat at Long John Silver's.
Now, I have a question for you on the escorting people to check the back of restaurants. Are they afraid of the employees or the vermin?
Yes. There was a relatively famous Chinese place in Wichita that had a fire, accidental fire. And when it reopened, they had to be certified. And, the health department had come through to look at it. And they called and said, send a deputy with us because we don't want to get stabbed by the tong.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I am never eating here ever again. And they soon after they had another accidental fire, and it's now permanently closed down, so I don't have to worry about it.
Did the grease pit burn for 5 days? There is a catfish restaurant in Jacksonville, Florida, well, south of Jacksonville, called Whitey's Fish Camp. And Whitey's catches fire about every 5 years. And it burns the kitchen out. Then they rebuild it. And about 5 years later, it catches fire again, and they burn it out. And they rebuild the kitchen. And they've been doing this for going on 40 years. But it is so good that it's the same thing. We're getting close to time, folks. So
Yes.
I want to read a little something here, and we'll call this the end. It's called The Cajun Night Before Christmas. And I got this from my friend Ray Walker. And thank you very much, Ray. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house. They not a thing passed, not even a mouse. The children been nuzzled and good old snug on the floor, and Mama done passed the pepper through the crack in the door. The Mama done fireplace to roast the ham, set up the gumbo and to bake yam. Then on the bayou, they go such a clatter, make a sound like old Boudreaux done fall off his ladder. I run like a rabbit got to the door, trip over the dog and fall on the floor. As I look out on the light of the moon, I think, man, you crazy or got old too soon. Because there on the bayou, when I stretch my neck stiff, there are 8 alligator pulling the skiff. And a little fat drover with a long poling stick. I know right away it got to be old St. Nick. More faster and faster the gator they come. He whistle and holler and call him by name. Hi Gaston, hi Tay Boy, hi Pierce and Elsie. Jean and that G Suzette, Celeste and Renee. To the top of the porch, the top of the wall. Make crawl, alligator, and be sure you don't fall. Like tiny float cat, fly through the treetop. We did big old hound dog come run by himself. Like up on the porch, them old gator climb. with a skiff full of toys and St. Nicholas behind. Then on top of the porch, it sounded like the hail when all them big gators done sat down on their tails. Down the chimney, I yell with a bam, and St. Nicholas fall and sit on the yam. Sacre, he exclaimed. My pants got a hole. I done slapped myself on a red-hot coal. He got up on his foots and jumped like a cat out of the floor where he landed with a splat. He was dressed in muskrat from head to foot, and all his clothes were dirty with ashes and soot. A sack full of plaything he threw on his back. He looked like a burglar, and that's for a fact. His eyes, they shine, his dimple have merry, maybe even drinking the wine from the blackberry. His cheeks like a rose and nose like a cherry. On second thought, maybe him lap up the sherry. With a snow-white chin whisker and a quivering belly, he shook when he laughed like a strawberry jelly. But a wink in his eye and a shook of his head made confidence that I don't get to be scared. He don't no talk no straight out to work, put a plaything in a sock and then turn with a jerk. He put but his hand on top of his head, 'cause in that chimney he done said, with all that fire and them burning hot flame, me, I ain't going back that way I came. So he run out the door. He climb on the roof. He ain't no fool. He'll make it on one more goof. He jump in his skiff and crack his big whip. The gator they move down and don't make one slip. And I hear him shout merry and loud and explaining as he go, Merry Christmas to all, and till I saw you some more. That was written by J.B. King Jr. in 1973. And that is as Cajun as it gets. So I hope everyone enjoys it. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year if we don't see you. Yes, I'm furry. I'm growing my winter coat. Y'all don't shave in the winter. Why should I? And remember, folks, be safe out there. Don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. We may or may not be here on Thursday. We haven't decided yet. So check Facebook. That's all I got. Y'all be safe. Goodbye.